Welcome to Tell the Damn Story, the show that explores the many ways to navigate the successes and failures that aspiring and struggling writers face to make your journey that much easier.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you are looking and saying, oh, how disappointing. Chris and Alex aren't on the beach anymore. They're not wearing their Hawaiian shirts. That's right, we are back at work. And you know what that means?
Nothing.
That means we get to spend some time with cherished friends of the show and friends of ours. So we're going to get right to
two different things, right?
And they're and you two fit both of them. Yeah, we have friends of the show who are, you know. But you two we love very dearly. Ladies and gentlemen, up Boston way, it's Jeannine and Tom. Hello, welcome back yet again. We're so excited. I got to tell you that one of the things we're going to talk about, I can't wait to hear what you had to say about it. In the green room, we were talking about kids, and I do have a new kid in my life, my niece's child, and she's married to a big old official nerd, and he got them all to go to the San Diego Comic-Con. Thank God the kid didn't go into the con. He went to the San Diego Zoo and freaked out at manatees and stuff like that and had a great old time. And Dad went, and I'm still waiting for pictures from him to see what his view was of the San Diego Comic-Con. Alex's godson, my son Tyler, and I have been trying to get tickets to that since he was a teenager, and that's a long time ago. So we have never, ever experienced it. We've experienced the New York Comic-Con, and you both will know the comparisons, both pro and con, to those two. Yep. But we haven't been to San Diego, which is a thing unto itself.
May I do one thing here?
So we're going to shut up now. So Alex,
yeah, we're gonna shut up now so that Tom and Jeannine can say hello.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
I got so excited, Alex.
So this is Jeannine Acheson?
Acheson. Yeah.
Acheson, right? And Tom Sniegoski, who are, by the way, for those of you people who are attending here late, you know, like you've missed the other 300 and some odd episodes we've done, Jeannine and Tom are great writers, wonderful writers, also good friends, good buddies from way back. There's a whole story. There's several episodes we talk about that. But they are great writers of fiction in comics, graphic novels, and novels. And Tom's covered a few other bases too. So you'll find out a number of things about the writing experience through the conversation we're going to have with them today about a book project of theirs that's already out. Am I right? It's already out.
September.
Out.
September.
Oh, it's coming out in September?
Yeah.
You're learning about it before it comes out. And then they're going to tell you about their time at the San Diego Comic-Con, which was just a couple of weeks ago, right? And whatever else might be on the serving plate. So stay tuned. Okay.
As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, I have abandoned all decorum and formatting on the show, and I'm just having fun. So there you go. Summer Chris, a little harder to rein in, apparently. There you go.
He was like that on the beach, too. Okay. People kept running around the people and grabbing their blankets. Anyway, so Tom and Jeannine, how are you?
We're
good. Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Okay, well, that's it, folks. It's been a great show.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So let's just a little bit, like maybe just a little running start quickly in like 5 minutes. How did you guys wind up writing together? Just 5 minutes now. Just
the recap.
Jeannine can do the 5 minute.
Yeah.
I'm way too wordy, so.
Yeah, but that's why they have editors.
Exactly.
So Tom and I went to high school together and went our separate ways after high school. And it was almost 5 years ago, I was still teaching. I was a middle school teacher. I was doing a project with my students, and I needed an author who had his or her books turned into movies. And I remembered that I had been following his career. I knew that he had books out there, and I knew that he had books turned into movies. And I thought, I'm going to email my old friend and see if he'll come and talk to our kids. And I did, and he came and talked to 312 and 13-year-olds in 2020. It was November of 2020. He came to my school, And we started talking after that, and we just kind of kept on talking. And then the pandemic hit. We wrote a novel together. The following end of school year, I retired to write full time with Tom, and we've been doing it. It'll be 5 years.
It'll be 5 years or 6 years.
5 years, 6 years.
It'll be 6 years.
It'll be 6 years, like the end of
November. In November, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
it'll be 6 years in November, I'm thinking.
It's probably around 6 years.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
glad
it's
you're on
6.
top of this.
I've lost all track of time at this point.
When you work with me, that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love this because again, it shows that sometimes you just never know what the future has in store for you, even if people go their separate ways. Somehow creativity brings them back together. That's great. Tom, just a quick one, a little 5-minute. Who the hell are you, and what have you worked on all these years?
Oh my God.
Damn it! Why are you on our show?
Oh my God. I started in comics. I had a pretty good comics career for a while, and then that kind of the comic industry at that time that I kind of phased out of comics was in flux. It was a weird time period, and I started writing novels, and I wrote over 40 novels, and then was still managing to do comics here and there, and like over the last, I'd say like last 6 or 7 years, including the time when Jeannine came back, comics has come calling again. Suddenly there's like this super interest in me doing comic work again, which is really kind of weird how it came about. But I've been doing a lot more comic stuff, but also at the same time keeping my prose muscles tight as I could possibly keep them. But yeah, so I'm still doing everything. I'm still juggling all kinds of stuff. I've been doing some script writing and stuff like that. That's been fun. But yeah, so.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
Yeah, as far as comics go, I've worked for just about everybody. Worked on all kinds of cool characters.
Who's your favorite?
Hellboy.
Hellboy, yes. Okay.
The Hellboy stuff is like, it's almost like if they said, "Oh, Tom, we're not going to pay you anymore for the Hellboy work," I'd be like, "All right." I would probably do the Hellboy stuff enough.
Mike, you heard it here first. So
I know. Don't give Mike any
generous donation to our show still will save you money.
Oh,
Tom, let me follow that up with Hellboy's your favorite.
Yeah.
Who is your most challenging character to write?
Oh, wow. In comics?
Yeah.
Probably, I worked with Jeff Smith on some Bone stuff.
Sure.
And that freaked me out because it's Jeff Smith.
Yeah.
And nobody had touched that stuff at all.
except him, yeah.
Except him. So that was incredibly intimidating.
Oh.
Because you just didn't know, am I close? Am I totally off base? Is that funny? Is that not funny? There was a lot of.
How did you get over that?
He didn't.
You know what? you basically say, all right, I signed a freaking contract. I got to do the work.
Yeah, do it.
So you just basically hope for the best.
Right. Well, if I could follow up one more, and that would be for both Tom and Jeannine, because both of you have written Vampirella.
Yes.
Who is someone else's IP. Yep. A lot of our, emerging writers and creators who watch this show, and don't hold that against them, they have dreams. And more I'm encountering people who have dreams about writing, IP. Well, friend of the show, Bobby Nash, doesn't have dreams. He has realities. He has written so many different. So has Teal James Glenn, who's also been on the show, and on and on. James Aquilin, also on the show, now actually owns the license for Kolchak, the Night Stalker. So there's a lot of that, but the aspiring, the ascending writers, a lot of them have that dream, but don't have any idea how to go about. And how do you do that in a successful way? How do you, for one, I'm sure you were both asked, right? Or did you cold call Vampirella? How did this work out?
Or did you hold somebody's dog
Vampire.
hostage? I mean, really, what was your method?
I was writing Vampirella since the 90s. I think my pedigree with the character kind of has allowed me
Sure.
to continue to do work with her, to
Yeah.
work, you know.
But and for Jeannine, it was Vampirella, but for you, that there had to be that first one or two IP projects. And there's that, as you just said, with Jeff Smith. Oh God,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how do I meet the criteria? How do I mean? And then let's get Alex to answer this as well, because he's written a ton of licensed characters. So all three of you, damn it,
Yeah.
give up this secrets. How do you do it? How do you get comfortable with writing? And
Let Jeannine speak.
Okay.
yeah,
I wouldn't dare stop her.
we'll go chronologically. So it'll be Jeannine and then Tom, and then we'll wait an hour or two, and then it'll be Alex. All right, no, I'm required to have one age joke episode. There you go.
I got drug into it.
Now we're talking drugs here. Okay, whatever works.
When Tom and I first started writing together, we were writing our novel, and Nikki Barucci at Dynamite had asked Tom if he would write a Vampirella one-shot for Valentine's Day. And Tom said, "Hey, I'm working with this new writing partner, and how about we have her join the team?" And Nikki was like, "Sure, why not?" And that's how I was introduced to it. I knew of the character.
Right.
I had seen like the comics in the store, and I was like, there she is. She's back there someplace. Might have a Vampirella statue, the her with the bat on her hand.
Right.
And so I knew who the character was, and I wasn't terribly familiar with her. But Tom was like, just, give it a try. You might like it. And I said, okay. And now, like, writing an existing character, I think for me, how do I explain this? She's got an incredible history.
Yes.
She's almost as old as I am, and she's still relevant. And I think the thing that I try to bring to her is, I don't know, like maybe a female perspective, because I think for the most part she's been written by men. Is that true?
Yeah, there's been a handful of women, but
Yeah.
mostly men.
Yeah.
But there had to be that moment, that sitting down at your keyboard. What were the fears and how did you get over them? Because that's going to be helpful to
Yeah.
people out there.
Well, let me jump in with Jeannine's fears. Jeannine had never written comics before.
Right. That's what I was literally just going to say that.
She had that nightmarish fear first.
Oh, yeah.
And then
So learning format. Yeah.
And it was huge.
Yeah.
And I think that Valentine's Day special that we talked about, and we plotted it out, and I had absolutely no idea what we were doing. Tom had given me like a script that he had done, and then he showed me thumbnails, and then he showed me pencils, and then he showed me inks, and then he showed me the final, product. So I had seen like a Vampirella comic come together. Things that I think at that point you were working on Vampirella.
Vampirella.
Vengeance, okay.
The new one.
But I had no idea what I was doing. So it wasn't even just a learning curve of learning the character. It was learning how to like create a comic. And that was added to the fact that I was working on a character that had been done by everybody for decades.
Character and structure were a challenge.
Yeah, huge.
Okay, so how did you start? Where did you start?
We started I read a bunch of Tom's run of Vampirella, familiarized myself with the character, looked stuff up online, and then I don't know, I think at that point our story kind of took off for me, and I got a sense of the character by working with Tom and like writing the character.
There was a lot of side by side.
Yeah.
She did not go off alone.
Oh no.
On this.
No, not at all. And not until much, much later, like after we had written a few comics together, that I was like partially able to like lay out an entire scene like by myself. I think I still rely on Tom a lot for like dialogue and for the voice of the character, because I think he probably obviously knows her much better than I do at this point. But feel like he has that, I don't know, like she's in his head and she's in my head too, but
She lived there longer.
yeah, she's lived
Yeah.
with him longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think too, the thing that helped me become a little more familiar with the character as well is that when we did the Vampyverse, which was kind of like the Spideyverse for Vampirella, the characters that were born out of that, I feel, became more our creations than like the original Vampirella. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I felt more comfortable like giving them things to say or putting them in situations. So I maybe like putting your own spin on something, I think helps you to get to know the characters like as they relate to you.
You know, you have to put the spin within the parameters of an IP.
Within the parameters of what's established, yes.
Excellent.
But I feel like with the Vampyverse, it's still Vampirella. She exists in all these different places, and she's still in essence Vampirella. But there's the 1930s pulp Vampirella. There's the caveman Vampirella. There's all the different ones. So yeah.
Is there like an omnibus available for the Vampyverse?
There's a collection of the Vampirella mini series.
Yeah.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in seeing what Jeannine and Tom did together with the Vampy, go and check out the Vampyverse trade paperback collection. There we go. Tom, what do you got to say?
About what?
Excellent. Thank you very much.
about writing IP?
Writing IP. What advice would you give someone that's their dream?
You know what? It's a tough dream to achieve.
Sure.
Just because of the fact that publishers, as well as the people who are giving the license, are very, very protective of those licenses, so they don't necessarily hand them over to just anybody. I think using Vampirella as an example, like I said, I started writing Vampirella in the 90s. So I think that just kind of followed me and people are familiar with what I did with the character. But say, for example, like writing like Hellboy or writing Bone or writing some other
Herculoids.
Herculoids is a good example. Yeah, I had to when they said, all right, Tom, we're going to let you do the Herculoids, but you have to give us, what are you going to do in a year? Give us literally an issue by issue breakdown of where you plan on taking these characters and what do you plan on doing with these characters. And that had to all get approved by Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers like literally went through all my plot descriptions and said, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Oh, this part here, could you change that to this? Because this was from an episode, from
1985.
1985. These characters fit what you're describing here. So let's just insert these characters into that spot and call them that. And they're very picky about. I've also heard like for example, like the Godzilla IP is a nightmare to work on because Toho was so specific about what they want. But it seems like they're loosening a little bit. Like I'm looking at Godzilla Kong versus Justice League.
Yeah, I saw that recently.
Stuff like that. So it seems like they're realizing that people really love the character of Godzilla and the monsters in the Godzilla universe. And I think they're loosening up a little bit when I see how much they're doing with the characters. They just announced the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Godzilla book. So they're definitely like X amount of years ago, like when IDW first got the Godzilla license.
Right.
Eric Powell, the artist and writer on The Goon, was writing it. He said that it was a nightmare to get them to approve anything.
Yep.
So he had to go in. He'd plotted out these great storylines, and then he'd submit it to Toho, and they'd like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So he'd have to cobble together something that they approved of with what he.
Wow.
Right. Well, it's a long journey, and I did list a bunch of people. I have to add, Alex, Jim Beard and John Bruning also have done IPs. You know, Alex has done IPs, and we're going to get to him in a second. Maybe Alex can speak a little bit about the satisfying nature of actually finishing and being able to contribute to one of those long-lasting characters.
No, I can't
Let's
actually.
find
Not a
out,
damn
ladies
thing
and
I can say. No. It's torture, plain torture. God, no. Well, you know, again, coming at this from as one of the elders here, growing up with characters and being fascinated by them and entertained by them, through your youth, to reach a point in your life where you are now contributing to the canon is kind of a rush in a
Yeah.
lot of ways, a big rush. And I honestly believe, if I remember the chronology correctly, I think I started with Archie. I think Archie was the first character that I got to write comics about. That was something that I had grown up reading Archie comics. I'd obviously watched some of the cartoon shows and all that. And what's fun for me was I didn't feel, and this is tricky too, because Tom was saying something about the owners of the license being careful. I totally get that. Absolutely, they need to be.
Yeah.
But it's also, as you come to the property, you must come to the property respecting what it is,
right.
but you're also going to be bringing your lens on the piece. You're not going to be writing the way your predecessors wrote, although you have to treat the character with the same reverence, and you're going to keep it within its world. You're bringing something of yourself to the table, something
Right.
of how you see the world, how you enjoy things, your fears, whatever. And so I feel fortunate. One, I got to start out with some of the shorter Archie stories, like 6 pages and that sort of thing. But then luck would have it. I don't know. I have no idea why it happened. Well, I do know why it happened, and I just remembered. No, I'm not. It wasn't Archie that I started with, but nevertheless, we'll get to that. But with the Archie, yeah, I told you it's the age. But with the Archie stories, at some point I pitched Archie's World Tour, and I wanted to do a 5-part miniseries where the gang leaves Riverdale and goes on a globe hopping adventure as a school trip. And initially the idea was like, oh, that's going to be fun. They'll see this and they'll do that. But that's not who I am. I want to look at some of the characters a little differently. I want to sort of broaden the light or the spotlight on them a bit. And Moose was one of the characters. And up until that point, Moose had always been treated just as a big dumb jock. That was it. That was his thing. And I always wondered, why is Midge with him? Midge is a smart girl. Midge is a nice girl. Why does she hang with this guy who's goofy and is usually ready to pummel somebody, although he's not an evil guy? And so I thought about it, and I came up with this bit, and I'm going somewhere with this. That it looks like Moose is constantly listening to his Walkman. Shows you what era that was, right? And not paying attention to the things that are going on in the trip. And what it turns out is that he has a recording device in there, and he's been recording the tour guide's comments about everything, because all the students have to turn in a paper on what they've done and what they've seen in terms of validating the trip. And Moose is afraid that he won't remember the details and he won't be able to get it right, because he knows he struggles in school. He struggles with, and I didn't define what it was, but
Right.
he has a disability, a learning disability. And that to me opened up another level of Moose without taking away from the other things. It was that, and I was very happy that Archie let me do that. And there was some
Yeah.
other things. So one of the things I've written Batman, I've written Tarzan, I've written Scooby Doo. You bring who you are to the table. You respect the property. You definitely need to be able to dialogue with the owners, the editors, anybody that you have to answer to. And yeah, you could be hard nosed about it, but if that's not going to get the job done, and you don't want to be a wimp about it either, because you want to affect it in some way, shape, or form. So you've got to
Yeah.
be professional,
There you
have
go.
ideas, be respectful, and try and have a good time. Because I had a blast working on all of these characters. I would do it again in a heartbeat. And I still have 2 more that I want to do, and I'm hoping I will get a chance to before
Mhm.
it's too old and forgetful and all that kind of stuff.
May I follow up, Alex?
Oh, sure, follow.
So, Alex was kind enough to make some introductions for me to Archie, and they were going through some kind of ownership lawsuits and whatever, and the editor was amassing a pile of material in case so I got a break there, and they allowed me to do I think it was a 4-part story, which was moose centric, and we built on Alex's idea and went deeper into dyslexia. And I was a teacher and union president at a high school then, so I went to all the special ed teachers who specialized in that, and we got all, so we were able to take some of the outside world and put it in. And Three Musketeers was well received, and then all the lawsuits were settled, and it never saw the light of day. So I never, here's a 2-part lesson for people. I never followed up. Well, I mean, a couple of emails to him, and just in case you don't have the files anymore, here's the files again, but to no avail. Yeah, you have to take that as part of the evolution. And sometimes it's not going to always be a dream job. I mean, I moved from there to writing this African-American soldier of fortune that some people know, Blackjack. And my first experience with that was a comic strip. And when we saw that published, every line of dialogue had been changed by the creator. But rather than doing what I did with Archie, I stayed with that and kept working, and we were able to write quite a number of prose stories with Blackjack. And either I wore the creator down, or he got more confident in me, and there were less and less.
Those envelopes with the money in it helped.
That helps too, ladies and gentlemen. Bribery may be part of the equation. Yeah. But yeah, stick with it, and don't take initial rejections personally. Right. Learn from them.
Right. Can I add to that?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Then I want to segue into something else. Go ahead.
We recently had that experience a while back.
Oh, with Alex? Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't know how much I can say about this. Tom and I had pitched a couple of ideas with our publisher for a licensed property. And they were like, these are great. We want these. And then we didn't hear anything for months. They came back to us again and they said, this is great. We want this. Can you do it? We need it like in a month. And we were like, no, like we can't. We just can't. That's not enough time for a whole graphic novel. I'm like, no. And so it kind of ended and we didn't get it. And they bought our ideas and somebody else was going to write it. And that was fine. Okay. And I felt terrible. Like I felt so rejected. What's wrong with us? Like you couldn't have waited like another month for us. Like, oh my God, like we wanted to do this. And I felt so awful. And then recently we had a conversation with somebody at the company, and he kind of explained a lot of like the behind the scenes things that had happened that we didn't know anything about, of course, but it made me feel better. And so, yeah, like when you said don't take the rejection personally, I feel like I probably have to develop a much thicker skin for things like this.
Certainly do.
Like, like teaching, I had a thick skin and very few things bothered me. But now this is a new field, and I'm like, oh, what do you mean you don't like us? Like, why? What's wrong with us? What's wrong with me? But it's not like that. It's just there are things that we don't see happening.
It's business.
I find there's I'm sorry, Tom, go ahead.
It's business.
Yeah.
You always have to go there. I know it's kind of an easy out, but it's business. They're looking at schedules, they're looking at money coming in, money going out. It's business. And if they say, oh, I need that right away, they think that they need it right away. And if they don't want to negotiate with you in terms of time, you can do.
And a lot of times, too, they're at the mercy of the people who hold the licenses.
Yes,
it seems like there's an inversion in movie making. There's a lot of hurry up and wait.
Yes.
And in print, there's a lot of wait and then hurry up.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we got the approval. You got 8 minutes. Let's go. 60-page one shot. Let's go. So
I wanted to segue. We're talking about IPs and things like that, but let's also talk about your own properties being published in somebody else's house. And am I right in the property that we mentioned just in the green room? Is that yours being published by somebody, or was that someone else's that you created, that they created and you're writing for?
I don't remember what we talked about in the green room.
The Big Inn is coming out in September.
Oh, Neera?
Yes.
Neera.
Oh, Neera's ours.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so let's talk about that.
That's 100% ours.
How'd
Yeah.
that happen?
How did Neera happen? You want me to
Stay
start?
with me, Tom. Come
Yeah,
on,
you
come on.
start.
Stay with me.
I know I'm having elder moments today.
I'm throwing
I don't
these low balls here, and you're just missing them.
I picked a bad day to give up vodka.
It's a terrible day to stop sniffing glue. Yeah.
Okay, airplane reference, folks, in case you're
Yes.
not
Yes.
following. Yes, but go ahead.
You want me to start?
Yeah,
You want
you
me to
start.
start? All right. Neera came about. I just like a lot of stuff creatively. I got an email out of the blue from a artist friend in England. His name's Tom Brown. And basically the email was, hey, I'm doing some artwork for this new publisher, this new small press publisher, book publisher, and they want to do novellas and they want me to do artwork for novellas. Why don't you come up with an idea and I want to draw what you come up with? I'll do the artwork for the novella. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I honestly, I don't think I really gave it a lot of thought. I think I was gonna push it over to the side, but
Yeah.
I mentioned it to Jeannine, and you
That's
could
her.
see that's her, and you could see, oh, a novella. Oh, I'd love to do a novella.
Really, a chance?
And
It's
I
just
was
like that too.
ah, crap. She wants to do it. I think I went back and I asked Tom if he would mind
Yeah.
if he and I came up with something, and he was like, "Oh, perfectly fine. That's great." So we put on our thinking caps. I think we had the initial.
Had part of this idea already.
Yeah, we had
the character.
Yeah, we had a concept that I think we had talked about maybe doing as novellas for somebody else or another small press.
Yes, we did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it was kind of like in that like small press novella file, and we pulled the damn thing out and looked at it and spun it around and did some stuff. And
we sent us like a little synopsis to Tom Brown and showed it to him, and he said, "Oh, this is great." And then before we knew it, he had sent it on to the publisher, Bad Hand Books, and it was like right after Christmas, and we got an email from Tom Brown saying, "Yeah, the publisher wants to do it. I'll introduce you." And that was the beginning of it, and it happened like that. It was like so fast.
yeah,
So tell us about it.
about what?
Oh, Tom, come on.
What part? There's lots of
What is
The
Neera?
pitch,
What
the
is
pitch.
Neera?
The pitch.
the pitch?
Like readers who are listening to this and say, well, what am I?
What is it? What is it?
Yeah.
What is it? Near. Okay. I think. What did it start? Oh, it started out being called Evermore.
Yes.
That was the title, the initial title, Evermore, because the character's name is Constance Evermore. And the publisher was like, "Would you mind if we called this Neera?" Because Neera is the name she went by in her earliest days on a world that doesn't exist anymore, an Earth that doesn't exist anymore. And we were like, "Oh, okay." So now the title is Neera, a Constance Evermore story. And any future novellas that we do will be the title, a Constance Evermore story. But yeah, basically the idea is there is this woman who existed in the earliest days of the Earth. It's like a time period of the Earth that everybody's forgotten. Nobody knows it even existed anymore. She was a shaman to a race of, almost like the original human race that was there to protect this world from supernatural threats. Got a little cocky, didn't pay attention to some big deals, and ended up being kind of responsible for eliminating that particular time period in the Earth. But she survived. She's the only thing from that time period that's pretty much survived. Though there are little things that she has to look after that have managed to survive along with her. But she's taken it on herself to be the protector of this new this new Earth, like our current version of Earth and the human race.
She's got her work cut out for her.
She's got to work cut out because she's carrying that enormous guilt,
Sure.
being responsible for her people being wiped out,
Wow.
and a world being wiped out. And yeah, so yeah, that's she's quite the ornery, cranky old lady.
Yeah.
That I love writing that. I love.
Does she appear like an old lady?
Yeah, she has that kind of world weary. We always refer to her as Tilda Swinton, the actress Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
She's not Helen Mirren. No, okay.
Not Helen. Well, you know what? Helen Mirren would be awesome too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give her a call, see what I can do.
Yeah, like that kind of androgynous, you know.
It would be, it's interesting to name those two actresses because it would be two very different movies. So it's interesting that you see Tilda when you're writing, and can embrace the other flavor that would be Helen Mirren.
Yeah, I think
A delicious champagne, I would think.
If we were like involved in like a casting process, if that ever happened, which I don't would be, I could, if you suggested actresses to me, I would have to look at that actress and almost apply what I know about that actress to the character to see if there are traits to the character that I see in this particular actress.
Let me invert that for writing purposes. Do you find it helpful to think of actresses or actors that might fit the role when you're writing a character? Is that something that you do? Some people do, some people don't.
I do it a lot while reading,
While
reading somebody else's work, books, and stuff like that. A lot of times I cast them. I think I might do it when I'm writing the character, just to help me almost like visualize a little bit. They are my version of that.
Right.
So there's probably a lot of what I envision of the character in my visual interpretation if played by an actress. What about you, Jeannine? What do you think?
It's funny because sometimes I think I do that. Like I definitely did that. And maybe because you mentioned it, like with Neera, but the other characters in the book, nobody really comes to mind.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
Maybe
find that I don't.
Maybe I just have main character energy.
I don't just. It's funny you should ask that question, Chris, because I sat here while everybody else was talking, going, "Do I do that?" And for the most part, I don't. For the most part, I see the character. I never see an actor playing the character, and I don't know if that's because I feel consciously or subconsciously it would influence.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think I know with some of my students, sometimes they'll talk about an actor while they're writing a script, and I'll go, "Really? So you have that kind of budget?" And they go, "No, I'm just tell me about the character. Tell me about that person, because otherwise you're talking about this actor who you've seen in movies, and are you writing the movie character that you watch this actor perform, or are you creating your own original character here?"
Right.
I think in case of Jeannine and Chris and Tom, you guys would do the homework to create a character.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was asked one time, someone had read Mallory and Gunnar, City of Woe, and they said, "Well, who do you see in the movie?" And my answer was so fluid that I think it did more harm than good for them, because I was able to suggest characters. For Mallory, it crossed racial barriers, and for Gunnar, gender barriers. I said, I could see this person do it. I could see this girl do this, and they were like, "What the? Huh?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I'm open to them interpreting this character."
Yeah.
I have a harder time with characters that actors have established in my head. I mean, I don't have an ability to recast Kolchak away from
Aaron
McGavin. I mean, it would be fascinating to see a successful recasting, and I think it would make a great time. Glorious and I just watched the old season of Constantine with Matt Ryan, and I know Keanu did Constantine, but in my head, it's always Matt Ryan.
Well, it's
Use
like,
it if it's a
what's
tool that helps, and don't worry about it
what's
if
the,
you
the
have
new
some other.
Naked Gun is out. The new Naked Gun is out, and I find it kind of like ironic that they now have Liam Neeson playing a character that was originally played by Leslie Nielsen. You
Right.
know, you know,
You just needed the same initials.
they
That's
did
all
that.
you needed.
right. Let's just plug in a couple of additional letters and we're good.
He's actually playing the son
Right.
of the Leslie Nielsen character.
Yeah.
And I'll
Oh,
tell you what,
really?
every trailer I have seen has been hilarious. So I wish him all the success on that. That would be fun.
Yeah. But so I guess going back to Neera for a moment, and then I want to get to San Diego because I'm
Yes.
clock watching too. Going back to Neera, what do we have to look forward to, and what do you hope will happen with it?
Her first adventure is more like an introduction, I think, to her and her world and to what she had done before as she helps a family through their
Crisis.
yeah, their issue, their crisis. And we've actually talked about and not plotted out yet, but have ideas for 2 more novellas, which hopefully will come out at some point.
We did plot them out. Those are plotted out.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay. We
He
did
did it
plot
and
out
didn't
both
tell
of
you.
them. I know, he didn't tell me.
Yeah, we did plot them out. They may be like super elaborate plots,
Yeah, but they're
definitely-
plotted.
You got
Yeah.
the skeleton at least. Yeah.
Let me dig in just a wee bit more. You painted the picture of this character who, before the dawns of certain time period, was powerful enough that when she made a big mistake, it was a big
it was
mistake.
a big mistake.
He
Yeah.
has lived eons and is here to protect. But then when you described the story, it sounded like she was a family counselor. So I'm just curious, what kind of world are we dealing with here? I don't want you to give away anything that you don't want to.
No.
But
Well,
Yeah, this story takes place in present day. So this is 1980. It's in the 80s.
yeah, this
Mhm.
one's the 80s.
This one takes place in the 80s. And it's she comes to the aid of a family who needs her. And that's how she gets her jobs. She lives in a house that it travels, it goes wherever she's needed. And so she might go to New York, she might go to New Jersey, she might go to Massachusetts, she might go to Romania. And she just kind of goes in this house, and the house just kind of plops her down wherever she needs to be at that time. She
is
kind
it
of find her.
Is it a situation where when she opens the door in the morning, she's in a different place? Or is it something that she finds herself going? Is it a flying house, or is it just transportation,
the U-Haul,
transport portal type thing?
She tosses business cards to the wind,
Fascinating.
and people find the card who
That is very cool.
who need her.
And they touch the card, and if they really need her, then
And the card had
shows
barely.
up.
What's interesting is like in the first story, the card had like hardly any detail on it. But as time went on, the card, the
cool.
details started to form on the card.
So it finds a situation and is in the appropriate place when, oh, nice.
Yes. And
Nice.
the house kind of picks up on where the card went, because the house is kind of its own character.
Yeah.
In a way.
It beats the heck out of having to pack everything up and open up boxes and things like that.
We even made one of the cool things that I thought we did, if I have to pat ourselves on the back.
Go ahead.
We even said at one point, this house has been a cave.
Yeah.
Or it's been a
grass hut.
Or a log cabin.
It becomes what it needs to be.
Yeah. For the time that she's in. Yeah. It's currently a Victorian house.
Very cool.
I like it.
The idea of the house is not a home, right?
It's
more home, but it doesn't matter. The architecture doesn't matter.
Right.
So this is coming out in September?
Yeah, September 16th.
So, important question. Where is it available? And back up a follow-up question. Can we pre-order now?
Yes. Yes. You can order. You can pre-order from Bad Hand Books.
Badhandbooks.com.
Or you can go on. It's on Amazon. You can order it on Amazon, or Barnes and Noble, or whatever.
It may have, because our publisher, who is making big waves, just signed a national distribution deal with a distributor to have his books Bad handbooks, all in all bookstores, libraries, everywhere.
And his name is?
His name
Doug
is
Morano.
Doug Morano.
He's
What was that?
Doug Morano.
Yeah, Doug. I've met him. And
fantastic.
does he still have the editor from Transylvania? Is he still working with her?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, she was so cool. And very supportive of a complete stranger, me. And he was really cool. I saw him at, I think it was StokerCon or one of
Oh,
those
yeah, he went to-
Oh yeah, he was just at
Yeah.
StokerCon.
And he's just, you know, you can picture yourself having a beer with him. I don't know if he drinks or not, but he's that kind of approachable guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had actually sent one of Alex's favorite books. It's been a privilege. It's a collection of poetry to her.
The
You
serial
know,
killer.
she hires out as an editor, freelance sometime. And she sent it back to me and she says, I'm not in the habit of charging people whose work is ready to be out there. I thought that was really a beautiful way.
Yeah.
You know, it's the most beautiful no I ever got.
Yeah.
So I sent it out. It was pretty cool. Yeah, the Bad Handbooks, good people. And they
Oh,
put out wildly different and really fun stuff. So Neera, order it now from Bad Handbooks because
Either,
Jeannine
aloha.
and Tom, they're gonna deliver.
San Diego Comic-Con.
Fun.
Why?
Insanity.
Insanity.
That's it.
Fun insanity. That's a great
Insane
description.
fun. Right.
I mean,
What
you
was it
literally,
like for this year, and what did you do there?
literally hit the ground running.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Say more,
Okay, well, that
please.
was nice. So again, folks, be with us next week.
It's funny. The first year we were there, this is our third year going.
But I've been going, this is like
You've been going forever.
I've been going
Yeah.
for like 23, 24 years.
But I think the first year we went, we had a yes on the spot for one of our projects. Was that the first year or the second year?
Oh, I don't remember if that was our
I don't
first.
remember if it was.
I think it might be, I think that might have been first.
I think it might have been the first year because the book is
First, I
just
think it
now,
was the
we
first.
finished writing it.
Yeah.
We can't talk about that yet. We will be able to, maybe in September. But then last year was great. But then this year we went, and the first night that we were there, a friend of Tom's and now a friend of mine asked us to do a story for a book that he's going to be putting out next year.
Right.
Yay, work.
Yeah.
And
So
of course, you can't say more about that book.
yeah, that hasn't even been, I don't think everybody.
Teasers.
I know.
A lot of teasers.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you there this year? Aside from this successful moment.
It was good.
We pretty much follow a routine.
Yeah.
We basically, you head into the show, you get overwhelmed by the amount of people that are there, and you refamiliarize yourself with everybody. You know, you go visit the publishers that you know people at, and you talk to them, and you ask them what's going on, and they tell you what's going on. And it's this, somebody asked me who's not familiar with publishing or comics or anything like that. They were like, well, what is it? What is it? And I said, it's the place where the conversation first begins.
Mm.
And I find that lots of conversations that I have or that we have with people, there's always a follow-up. It's kind of like you plant the seed and then you try to nurture that soil to try to bring, especially if you were talking about projects.
Yeah.
You try to bring that project to fruition. You go through all the necessary steps to take it. You very seldom get like, let's do it.
Yeah, once.
Yeah, we had that happen once.
Let me try and steer this a little bit because I love what's happening here, but I want to ask Jeannine this. One of the things that's been talked about on the show by Chris, myself, and several other people here who've been on the show is what it's like trying to initiate conversations with potential editors, clients, whatever. And so again, as Chris has said, you know, some of our listeners, our watchers are aspiring, emerging, struggling writers. And going to an event where they have to put themselves forward is a scary thing for some folks.
Yes.
It's an awkward thing for some folks. And it's fine. That's legit, you know, it's like anything else. Do you, Jeannine, recall? And I know you had Tom as a bit of a buffer, but nevertheless, I'm sure you weren't standing, sucking your thumb.
Maybe a
So
couple of times.
yeah. Do you remember what it felt like? And do you remember any moment where you went, nah, I got to step up. I've got to say something. I've got to respond or whatever. Do you remember?
Yeah, I think the first year I was just meeting every, because Tom knows, I think, just about everybody. And so he dragged me around and introduced me to people, and I didn't really have much to say. I think a lot of times, especially the first year, I felt a lot of my Catholic guilt come through because I felt like I wasn't worthy of being here because who am I? I'm nobody. I haven't done anything. And I'm wandering aimlessly with this guy, and he's kind of introducing me to people like Frank Cho and Eric Powell and Terry Moore and like all of these like giant people. And I'm like, I'm nobody. I don't belong here. But I think as I've gotten more comfortable, as I've worked more, I think that's what I try to remind myself of, is that I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be here if I still weren't like putting forth the effort with Tom and writing the things that we're writing. And I've branched out a little bit on my own with things too. And I think that goes a long way toward making me feel like not like an imposter.
Hmm.
And now after a while, after a few years, I mean, I find that all of the people who I've met, and I met even more new people this year, I find that everybody's just so welcoming that like I find that everybody in this field is just really welcoming, and they're like, oh, you're a new writer, hey, that's great, and they want to talk. And I don't know, so it's once I get over the guilt of like how I came into this business, like having a friend who's established, I think it got a little bit better. And I just have to remind myself to just keep working and keep trying new things. So I think that helps a little.
I think
There's
one
a
of the
long
differences
tradition with
I think one of the differences you just outlined is it's one thing to have somebody open the door for you, but it's another thing to earn your space and
Yeah.
time there.
Yeah.
And your writing has earned your space and time there. Yeah. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. What did you start to say, Chris?
you covered it.
Oh. Okay.
One brain.
Oh yeah.
Tom, what's it been like for you watching your apprentice?
She's good. She's learning the ropes. I think she knows. We have a very interesting rapport with people. I mean, I'm kind of like the rapid fire goofball, and she's kind of the calm, collected. I'll write that down. I'll take a note on that.
That's true.
We'll,
That's true.
we'll get back to
We'll
you.
get back to you.
And I'm just like flying. I'm like rapid fire with like ideas and what are you doing? Why I love this and I hate that and
Yeah.
You're Sonic and she's Tails, huh?
kinda. There's definitely a dynamic that people see when we're together. They're there's an interesting interaction that we have that kind of projects onto the people that we're talking to and stuff like that.
Good.
She's kind of like the straight man,
Yeah.
if I had
Yeah.
to do that. Though she's pretty funny herself, but definitely the straight man.
Yeah. I think too, when people ask us, so there have been a couple of instances where people have said, hey, we're putting together this, anthology, or, I've watched you guys to do a story. And Tom will be like, and I'll go, yeah, we'll do it, without even knowing anything. I just say,
That's a problem. That's an enormous. We're going to have a conversation about something like that at lunchtime today.
no, we're not, because I'm going to keep doing it.
No, because again, there's being realistic and not being. And sometimes she has a tendency to be a little unrealistic.
I know,
overcommitting.
We haven't gotten into any trouble with that yet.
No, we've managed.
Okay, good.
We've actually managed to achieve some stuff that I didn't think we'd be able to do.
See?
In terms of timing and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean we didn't have to bust our ass to do it. I'm not into busting my ass if I don't have to.
It's good for you sometimes.
I'm too old to be busting my ass.
Yeah, but I'm new.
I've earned this place.
I'm not touching any of this, right?
That's a great, it is actually a great opportunity, Tom. If she says something and you don't think you have time, you can say, all right, you do the first 3 drafts, and then I'll do the last polish.
Which, is becoming, I think, more of a reality. I think I would be capable of at least like doing a first draft of something that might need major overhauls, but yeah.
I like watching the dynamics between you two, and I'm glad Chris and I were on hand at the beginning of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think we should save Jeannine right now by asking a completely different question.
I don't need no saving.
As we're talking about all this, it would be negligent to not talk about just the overwhelming sea of people and how you navigate, especially since you've been to a few now, Jeannine, and you've been to a few more. I mean, is it a positive thing? Is it a thing where you go into the creator's back room or something to get a breather? How do you deal with that? I know I've done it with the New York Comic Con where the pure energy is great, but then physics takes, a step forward, and it's like, wow, there's no ability to move freely here.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? Because you want to be there, but there is that reality. So what do you got to say? I mean, yes, we love all the people. God bless you. That's fantastic. Keep coming. Yes, we got all that covered. But how about the reality of dealing?
I hate crowds. Hate them.
This becomes a problem.
Like, I won't go to the grocery store like after 9 o'clock on a weekend because there's too many people.
Now, is it fear or annoyance?
Noise.
Both.
Yeah.
Both. More annoyance, but a little bit of fear at a place like San Diego, like what could happen, just because I'm paranoid.
Is that in violation of space, or oh my God, this could be a target? Which way are you talking about there?
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
Okay.
But
Sounds like a plot to me.
but I have to, the first year that we went to San Diego and the first day that we were there, I couldn't stay. I think we had gotten there about 10:30 in the morning. And by 2 o'clock, I was like, I have to get out of here. I have to get out of here. I was just so jittery and so like frantic. My husband and I went and took off and spent the afternoon outside with lesser crowds. But then I went back the next day and I'm like, nope, I got to do this. I have to do this as part of the job. And I think ever since then, I've gotten a lot better. We take breaks. We take frequent breaks. Like we'll go outside and sit in the sun, which I like. He doesn't.
Not built for
that. Snack or have some water. And then we go back in. And I feel like how do I say this? Like the energy of that place kind of overrides any fear that I have about being a target or anything like that. I'm still not wild about being touched, but we stick together.
Just tell me.
Like we stick together, and so like one of us will take the lead and grab the other one by the hand and like get through the crowd. So we kind of make it work. And occasionally, I think a couple of times this past San Diego, he'd look at me, he'd be like, you need a break. I'm like, I think I need a break. And he'd be like, all right, let's go out.
See, I'm like
for a half hour and go back in.
I'm like full steam ahead.
I
don't even notice the passage of time. This is my element. This is my
I see an interesting thing here too. And again, turning a little bit back towards writer creative scenario, is your personalities definitely have an influence on how you deal with a given situation. So negotiation, partnerships and collaboration, any of that, who you are definitely is a factor. Tom, you've described yourself as you sort of get in there and you're ready to do it and rumble with it. And Jeannine's a little bit more genteel and hesitant, but she's trying to find her way.
Yep.
When you're working on a project together, is there a yin yang is it a balance, or is it sometimes more this than that? I mean, how do your personalities affect your collaborative efforts?
I find my experience a lot of the time is what we start with. I think I'm the one that says, all right, we're going to sit down and this is what we're going to do, just because of the fact that that's what I've done for
Mm.
40 years of writing. So I think she kind of depends on me to kind of set the standard, like all right, how are we going to approach this project? How are we going to fit this project in that you said that we could do that I don't think we can do? How are we going to fit this friggin' thing in?
But I think my mindset, even after, and I was just realizing like this will be my 4th year of retirement. I think I still have a lot of the teaching schedule in me where you start in the morning and you go, 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 and you get it done. And the more you get done, the better. If I'm grading essays or if I'm planning a new unit or whatever I'm doing, I just like kind of power through it. But the difference now is that I don't really have the daily clock that I used to.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to be up and out of the house by 6:45 in the morning and at my desk by 5 minutes to 7, and the kids come in at 7:20 and I have to go, go, go. Now it's like, we can start that today. You want to start that today? All right, we'll start that today. And if we don't have something that's on a strict due date that we have to get so many pages done per day, I find that sometimes it takes me a little bit to get started.
But again, I don't think a lot of people realize this, but I think as creative people, as people who are doing this as their living, as their job, everybody's going to do it differently.
Yeah.
And I find that I don't necessarily like to sweat the small stuff. It's kind of like, did we start that today? No, we were looking at memes. Whatever, we'll do it tomorrow. If there's no ticking clock, I'm a little more lax in because again, I look at a lot of being on the internet, reading a review of a movie or reading a review of a comic or goofing, just talking and goofing around and stuff like that. I find that is just as important to the creative process as the actual creative process. Goofing off is part of how it's done. And she has a really hard time with that, though.
Yeah.
Though I think she's getting better with it. The goofing off part, I think she's getting comfortable with that. But that is incredibly important to me.
The other day, I was remembering a sit down I had with Jeremy Britt, which was like all of maybe 10 minutes, but it seemed like it was a half hour. It was great. But Jeremy Britt said something, and a few years before that, Ray Bradbury said something similar, and then I read a third creative had said something similar, and it seems that the theory is it's all about you have to take things in order to then be able to put something out. In order to reflect life, you have to take life in whatever elements that may be, in whatever form that may be.
Yep.
So I get what you both are saying. You've lived lives, you have working routines, you're shifting now. I mean, Tom, you work solo quite a bit, but you also work with Chris Gold and some other people. But you had certain routines that you were familiar with, and then Jeannine has become a part of your experience. So you yin and yang to that when it's appropriate, and Jeannine is also learning to work with you. And I think that's all a part of the joy of being what we are blessed to be.
Yeah,
is that we get to make up stuff.
Yeah, basically,
and we get paid for it.
Yeah. When you stop and you really think about it, we're playing.
Yeah.
It's a form of playing. Yes, it's work, but you're making shit up. You're like, you've got your action figures and you're telling a story. It's great. I mean, I can't imagine. Look at you got a black car.
Yeah. That's all I've got.
What can I grab?
Herculoids.
What can I grab? Oh, I'll grab the Maestro.
All right.
And Jeannine's got to. All right.
Okay. Well, I'll see yours, and I'll raise you a Captain Haddock.
Oh, Captain Haddock. I got this little creature from the Ultraman.
There you go.
Yeah,
Jeannine, where'd you go?
Oh,
what did you do?
no.
She turned herself off. Oh, there you go. Okay, you're back. We were having a silly moment there, folks. But then again, as Tom said, we were playing.
Yeah, but again, it is so important to the process. I always refer to it as the process, and she kind of rolls her eyes, but I think she's starting to get it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's funny. I use that word too. When I talk about creatives, I dislike using the word, but it is the word. It is a process.
Yeah.
It is a
absolutely
process.
is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was it? I forget who said it to me, to be honest. But he was like, "Yeah, you can't drive anywhere on an empty tank."
Yeah.
And that's kind of the situation. You got to fill up.
Yep.
Whether that's nonfiction, fiction, whether it's film, whether it's
Yep.
interacting with people. A lot of, especially this year, a lot of news. My last 3 things published is driven to some point by that kind of stuff. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Especially with the world being on fire.
Yeah.
You need to distract yourself from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm actively trying to dissuade my algorithms from sending me more political stuff. I just, I've hit a breaking point here. So it was all comedy and music and kids yesterday. Any political stuff, I just kept going. I needed a break. Needed a break. Yeah.
We have to say arrivederci shortly, but no, we got to have you guys back again because I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
That's what you say every time, and you still kick us out.
Yeah, but we keep asking you back, so
I
keep, gosh, Batman, when you put it that way.
I forgot about it.
Is there anything you want to say? Anybody? Anything?
I have one more question, but it's completely off every topic we've talked about today.
Okay,
we have time for that.
I'm ready.
So I'll stop us if it goes too long.
My pet peeve these days are there's so many podcasts that are getting carnivorous and cannibalistic. Both for Superman and Fantastic Four First Steps, which recently came out, you've gotten the same pattern. The podcast episode that says, "This is great," non-spoiler episode, and then spoiler episode, and then, particularly with one particular station, "Was it bad?" Followed by, within 2 weeks, "Why it flopped."
Yes.
And it's so disingenuous.
Yeah.
That I'd love to hear other people's take. What is your take on those kind of social media vampires?
I hate the negativity for just being negativity.
Yeah, just for hits and likes.
Just for the hits and the likes. Oh, I'm gonna say everybody likes this. I'm gonna hate it, and I'm just gonna feed off of that. And then, of course, that brings all the haters out that all have agendas of some kind to hate something, and it just gets nauseating after a while.
There's a lot of hate in society.
There's a lot of friggin' hate, and
all sorts of weird reasons.
Yeah, way too much. Way too much. Makes me bonkers.
Jeannine?
I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. I like what I like, and if other people don't like it, then that's on them. That's fine. They can have their opinions, right or wrong. But yeah, I mean, it is annoying. I totally agree with that, but I pay attention to a lot of people.
That's a pretty good bit of advice. Don't go on that site. If you don't like the show, don't buy a ticket.
Change the channel. Garland said there are 2 knobs on the radio.
Here's a funny. Well, let me do the story.
Go ahead. Go. Yeah.
This plays into what Chris just mentioned, as well as San Diego. I've been going to San Diego for years. I still manage to enjoy myself. Jeannine's now accompanying me. She's managing to enjoy herself. I was just about ready to do a panel for Dark Horse about 2 years ago, And Mike Mignola saddles up to me, and with this scowl on his face, he looks at me and he says, "You still like this shit?" And I said, "This shit it feeds my battery." I said, "This is why I like it still.
Yeah.
I come home and I feel energized from it." And
Yeah.
he just kind of scoffed and rolled his eyes at me, which he often does. And but yeah, I can't help it. I still find joy from
Yeah.
the energy of the show.
Yeah.
I'll say
I've come to like convention season a lot just for that reason. It's like you go and you meet people and you talk with people and talk about projects and talk about what they're doing and see what they've done. And then you go home and you go, yeah, all right, let's get to work. Like it is very energizing. I like that.
I'll say two things to tie into that as well. One, after coming out of Superman and thinking about it, I wrote something for somebody who wanted to know my opinion of the film. And I started out by saying, I don't feel the least bit obligated to criticize it. And
No.
there's no reason. It did what it did, and it was fun, and that's fine. And if it didn't work, I still don't feel obligated to criticize it. So that was one. The other thing was what you were talking about in terms of the energy from the experience. My wonderful daughter and her significant took me to Scotland last year,
Oh, wow.
in August. Lord knows why they wanted to drag the old dude around with them.
Well, they wanted to leave him there, but he found his way back.
I found the airline ticket and got back to the plane. But they took me to Edinburgh. And if you know that time period, in every year there's the Edinburgh Festival. There's over 631 events going on in that one little city at the same time. All kinds of performances, from stand-up comedians, solo stand-up comedians in a little church basement, to full-fledged acrobatics and plays and improv groups and you name it, Sherlock Holmes and gay rights and Victor Mature's daughter singing, just all this stuff. The energy was unbelievable. I didn't get to see a tenth of the shows, but the energy on the street performances, everywhere you turn, there was creativity and energy and life and music and people watching and celebrating. And I came back from that in August, latter part of that August, and I still feel supercharged from it.
Yeah.
So I totally get what you're saying, Tom. And I think to tie into the negative remarks in that effect, if you suckle on negativity, that's what you breathe. That's what you emanate. That's what you are living off of, and that's what's killing you. If you suckle on positivity or creativity, that's a different experience. And I tend to believe that there's hope in positive creativity. I think there's hope in going, okay, there's a problem. How do we solve it?
Yeah.
As opposed to always going, there's a problem and we're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I still see what we do, whatever the sort. Vampirella, Neera.
Yep.
It's been a privilege. Blackjack, whatever we do, we're putting material out there that's serving a purpose in one way, shape, or form. And I'm hoping that the people who are watching and listening to the show will continue to do the same. Both put out more material and continue to watch and listen
Continue to watch the show.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
Yes. So we will have you back.
Yes.
Again and again and again and again. What's now? Neera's coming out in September. Anything else coming out this year?
I have Vampirella Armageddon, which is a series from Dynamite, my continuation of my solo Vampirella stuff.
Okay.
What else do we have? We have some stuff that we haven't quite nailed down yet that we're going to be doing together.
You have deals you can't talk about, but anything else?
Yeah, I still like that thing we can't talk about.
Oh, I gotta mention this because it's so freaking funny, and this is why I'm involved with it, because the title of this thing is so freaking funny. A good friend of mine, an artist, he lives in New Hampshire, very talented guy named Rich Woodall.
Of course.
Rich.
She happened to show me a bunch of drawings for something, and I'm like, "What is this? This is insanity! I love it. What is it?" He says, "It's for my idea called Space Frankenstein is Angry." I lost it and I said, "You have to let me write this." And he
And
was,
I had nothing to do with that.
yeah, he said, you will write Space Frankenstein. I said, I will write Space Frankenstein in a heartbeat. So this is going to be a Kickstarter sometime in the not too distant future. Space Frankenstein is angry. Jeannine's the editor on the book.
Yep. Halfway through the script already.
Oh, are you?
I started this morning.
Look at you. Look at you. Look at that. Okay.
I'm done, baby.
That title, I was howling, and when I heard the title and I saw the artwork, I was like, oh, I gotta be involved with this.
I'm sorry. I got to tell you that you said that. I'm laughing at that, but I'm envisioning Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles in my head. So it's just back to the old geezer. It's the old geezer.
Frankenstein Jr. I would love to write Frankenstein Jr. I think that if Dynamite gets that license, I will be all over that.
Oh, call me,
Kids,
please.
get to the Google machine
and
research Frankenstein Jr. Go ahead, kids. You can do that.
I'll sharpen your pencils for you, Tom. I would love to be a part of that too. Okay, so guys, thank you so much. Really, it's been a pleasure. Chris, as always, a pleasure. Chris, anything you want to say to the folks?
Listen, this was a really fun episode. What can you do to show us the appreciation? Show Jeannine and Tom the appreciation for their time, their intellect, their wit. There's only two things. Hit that like, punch that subscribe so you don't miss another episode when we drag them away from work to prattle on with them. There you go.
Take care, everybody.
Peace.
Bye.